Listen to the hills, from whence cometh my help. My help cometh from Yahweh, which made heaven and earth. He will not suffer thy foot to be moved. He that keepeth thee will not slumber. Behold. He that keepeth Israel shall neither slumber nor sleep. Yahweh is thy keeper. Yahweh is thy shade upon thy right hand. The sun shall not smite thee by day, nor the moon by night. Yahweh shall preserve thee from all evil. He shall preserve thy soul. Yahweh shall preserve thy going out and thy coming in, from this time forth and even forevermore. Amen.
Shalom, Yasha Allah. Shalom, Israel. Welcoming all of our Akwaf and Akwafim to another Wednesday's Words of Wisdom, as we give all honor, praise, and glory to our Heavenly Father, Yahweh, and His Son, our King, Yahushai. Readings of the ancients and writings from the inspired words of the prophets of old, which were recorded in our history book, the King James 1611 Authorized Version. They were handed down to the children of Israel today, known as your so-called blacks, Hispanics, and Native Americans of Negroid Indian descent. Tonight we will be covering the book of Judith out of your Apocryphas. We will be covering chapters 5 through chapter 8. So if you'll get your Apocryphas out, the book of Judith, we shall begin. The book of Judith, chapter 5, and it reads, Then was it declared to Holofernes, the chief captain of the army of Ashur, that the children of Israel had prepared for war and had shut up the passages of the hill country and had fortified all the tops of the high hills and had laid impediments in the campaign countries, wherewith he was very angry, and called all the princes of Moab. So he called all the princes of Moab and the captains of Ammon and all the governors of the seacoasts. And he said unto them, Tell me now, ye sons of Canaan, who this people is that dwelleth in the hill country, and what are the cities that they inhabit, and what is the multitude of their army, and wherein is their power and strength, And what king is set over them, or captain of their army? And why have they determined not to come and meet me more than all the inhabitants of the west? Then said Achior, the captain of all the sons of Ammon, let my Lord now hear a word from the mouth of thy servant, and I will declare unto thee the truth concerning this people, which dwelleth near thee, and inhabiteth the hill countries. And there shall no lie come out of my mouth of thy servant. This people are descended of the Chaldeans, and they sojourn heretofore in Mesopotamia, because they would not follow the gods of their fathers, which were in the land of Chaldea. For they left the way of their ancestors and worshiped the Father of heaven, the God whom they knew. So they cast them out from the face of their gods, and they fled into Mesopotamia and sojourned there many days. Then their God commanded them to depart from the place where they sojourned, and to go into the land of Canaan, where they dwelt, and were increased with gold and silver, and with very much cattle. But when a famine covered all the land of Canaan, they went down into Egypt and sojourned there, while they were nourished, and became there a great multitude, so that one could not number their nation. Therefore, the king of Egypt rose up against them and dealt subtly with them, and brought them low with laboring in the brick, and made them slaves. Then they cried unto their God, and he smote all the land of Egypt with incurable plagues. So the Egyptians cast them out of their sight. And Yahweh dried the Red Sea before them, and brought them to the Mount Sinai, and Kadesh Barnea, and cast forth all that dwelt in the wilderness. So they dwelt in the land of the Amorites, and they destroyed by their strength all them of Esbon. And passing over Jordan, they possessed all the hill country. And they cast forth before them the Canaanite, the Perizzite, the Jebusite, and the Shechemite, and all the Girgashites, and they dwelt in that country many days. And whilst they sinned not before their God, they prospered, because the God that hateth iniquity was with them. But when they departed from the way which he appointed them, they were destroyed in many battles very sore, and were led captives into a land that was not theirs. And the temple of their God was cast to the ground, and their cities were taken by the enemies. But now are they returned to their God, and are come up from the places where they were scattered, and have possessed Jerusalem, where their sanctuary is, and are seated in the hill country. for it was desolate. Now therefore, my lord and governor, if there be any error in this people, and they sin against their God, let us consider that this shall be their ruin. And let us go up, and we shall overcome them. But if there be no iniquity in their nation, let my Lord now pass by, lest their Lord defend them, and their God before them, and we become a reproach before all the world. And when Achior had finished these sayings, all the people standing round about the tent murmured. And the chief men of Holofernes, and all that dwelt by the seaside, and in Moab, spake that he should kill them. For say they, we will not be afraid of the face of the children of Israel. For lo, it is a people that have no strength nor power for a strong battle. Now therefore, Lord Holofernes, we will go up, and they shall be a prey to be devoured of all thine army. Book of Judith, chapter 6. And when the tumult of men that were about the council was ceased, Holofernes, the chief captain of the army of Ashur, said unto Achior and all the Moabites before the company of other nations, and who art thou, Achior, and the hirelings of Ephraim, that thou hast prophesied among us today, and hast said that we should not make war with the people of Israel, because their God will defend them. And who is God but Nebuchadnezzar? He will send his power and will destroy them from the face of the earth, and their God shall not deliver them. But we, his servants, will destroy them as one man, for they are not able to sustain the power of our horses. For with them we will tread them underfoot, and their mountains shall be drunken with their blood, and their fields shall be filled with their dead bodies, and their footsteps shall not be able to stand before us, for they shall utterly perish, saith King Nebuchadnezzar, Lord of all the earth. For he said, none of my words shall be in vain. And thou, Achior, and hireling of Ammon, which has spoken these words in the day of thine iniquity, shall see my face no more from this day, until I take vengeance of this nation that came out of Egypt. And then shall the sword of mine army and the multitude of them that serve me pass through thy sides, and thou shalt fall among their slain when I return. Now therefore, my servants shall bring thee back into the hill country, and shall set thee in one of the cities of the passages, and thou shalt not perish till thou be destroyed with them. And if thou persuade thyself in thy mind that they shall not be taken, let not thy countenance fall. I have spoken it, and none of my words shall be in vain. Then Holofernes commanded his servants that waited in his tent to take Achior and bring him to Bethulia, and deliver him into the hands of the children of Israel. So his servants took him and brought him out of the camp into the plain, And they went from the midst of the plain into the hill country, and came unto the fountains that were under Bethulia. And when the men of the city saw them, they took up their weapons and went out of the city to the top of the hill. And every man that used the sling kept them from coming up by casting of stones against them. Nevertheless, having gotten privately under the hill, they bound Achior and cast him down, and left him at the foot of the hill, and returned to their Lord. But the Israelites descended from their city, and came unto him, and loosed him, and brought him to Bethulia, and presented him to the governors of the city, which were in those days Ozias the son of Micah, of the tribe of Simeon, and Cabris the son of Gothniel, and Charmis the son of Melchiel. And they called together all the ancients of the city, and all their youth ran together, and their women, to the assembly. And they set Achior in the midst of all their people. Then Osias asked him of that which was done. And he answered and declared unto them the words of the council of Holofernes, and all the words that he had spoken in the midst of the princes of Ashur, and whatsoever Holofernes had spoken proudly against the house of Israel. Then the people fell down and worshiped Yahweh, and cried unto Yahweh, saying, O Yahweh, God of heaven, behold their pride, and pity the low estate of our nation, and look upon the face of those that are sanctified unto thee this day. Then they comforted Achior, and praised him greatly. And Ozias took him out of the assembly unto his house, and made a feast to the elders. And they called on the God of Israel all that night for help. Book of Judith, chapter 7. The next day, Holofernes commanded all his army and all his people which were come to take his part, that they should remove their camp against Bethulia, to take aforehand the ascents of the hill country, and to make war against the children of Israel. Then their strong men removed their camps in that day, and the army of the men of war was 170,000 footmen, and 12,000 horsemen, beside the baggage, and other men that were afoot among them, a very great multitude. And they camped in the valley near unto Bethulia, by the fountain, and they spread themselves in breadth over Dothaim, even to Belmeam, and in length from Bethulia unto Simon, which is over against Esdraelon. Now the children of Israel, when they saw the multitude of them, were greatly troubled, and said every one to his neighbor, Now will these men lick up the face of the earth, for neither the high mountains, nor the valleys, nor the hills are able to bear their weight. Then every man took up his weapon of war, and when they had kindled fires upon their towers, they remained and watched all that night. But in the second day, Holofernes brought forth all his horsemen in the sight of the children of Israel, which were in Bethulia, and viewed the passages up to the city, and came to the fountains of their waters, and took them, and set garrisons of men of war over them. And he himself removed toward his people. Then came unto him all the chief of the children of Esau, and all the governors of the people of Moab, and the captains of the sea coast, and said, Let our Lord now hear a word, that there be not an overthrow in thine army. For this people of the children of Israel do not trust in their spears, but in the height of the mountains wherein they dwell, because it is not easy to come up to the tops of their mountains. Now therefore, my Lord, fight not against them in battle array, and there shall not so much as one man of thy people perish. Remain in thy camp, and keep all the men of thine army, and let thy servants get into their hands the fountain of water, which issueth forth of the foot of the mountain. For all the inhabitants of Bethulia have their water thence. So shall their thirst kill them, and they shall give up their city. And we and our people shall go up to the tops of the mountains that are near, and will camp upon them, to watch that none go out of the city. So they and their wives and their children shall be consumed with famine, and before the sword against them. They shall be overthrown in the streets where they dwell. Thus shalt thou render them an evil reward, because they rebelled, and met not thy person peaceably. And these words pleased Holofernes and all his servants, and he appointed to do as they had spoken. So the camp of the children of Ammon departed, and with them 5,000 of the Assyrians, and they pitched in the valley and took the waters, and the fountains of the waters of the children of Israel. Then the children of Esau went up with the children of Ammon, and camped in the hill country over against Dothaim. And they sent some of them toward the south and toward the east, over against Ecrabel, which is near unto Chpts, that is upon the brook Mokamer. And the rest of the army of the Assyrians camped in the plain, and covered the face of the whole land, and their tents and carriages were pitched to a very great multitude. Then the children of Israel cried unto the Lord Yahweh, because their heart failed, for all their enemies had compassed them round about, and there was no way to escape out from them. Thus all the company of Ashur remained about them, both their footmen, chariots, and horsemen, 34 days, so that all their vessels of water failed, all the inhabitants of Bethulia. And the cisterns were empty, and they had not water to drink their fill for 1 day, for they gave them drink by measure. Therefore, their young children were out of heart, and their women and young men fainted for thirst, and fell down in the streets of the city, and by the passages of the gates, and there was no longer any strength in them. Then all the people assembled to Ozias and to the chief of the city, both young men and women and children, and cried with a loud voice and said before all the elders, Yahweh be judge between us and you, for ye have done us great injury, in that ye have not required peace of the children of Ashur. For now we have no helper, but Yahweh has sold us into their hands, that we shall be thrown down before them with thirst and great destruction. Now therefore call them unto you, and deliver the whole city for a spoil to the people of Holofernes, and to all his army. For it is better for us to be made a spoil unto them than to die for thirst. For we will be his servants, that our souls may live, and not see death of our infants before our eyes, nor our wives, nor our children to die. We take to witness against you the heaven and the earth, and our God and Lord for our fathers, which punishes us according to our sins and the sins of our fathers, that he do not according as we have said this day. Then there was a great weeping with one consent in the midst of the assembly. And they cried unto the Lord Yahweh with a loud voice. Then said Ozias to them, Brethren, be of good courage. Let us yet endure 5 days, in the which space the Lord our God may turn his mercy toward us, for he will not forsake us utterly. And if these days pass, there come no help unto us, I will do according to your word. And he dispersed the people, everyone to their own charge. And they went unto the walls and towers of their city, and sent the women and children into their houses, and they were very low brought in the city. Book of Judith, chapter 8. Now at that time, Judith heard thereof, which was the daughter of Merari, the son of Ox, the son of Joseph, the son of Oziel, the son of Elsia, the son Ananias, the son of Gideon, the son of Raphaim, the son of Actho, the son of Eliud, the son of Eliab, the son of Nathaniel, the son of Samuel, the son of Salasadai, the son of Israel. And Manasseh was her husband, of her tribe and kindred, who died in the barley harvest. For as he stood overseeing them that bound sheaves in the field, the heat came upon his head, and he fell on his bed and died in the city of Bethulia. And they buried him with his fathers in the field between Dothaim and Balamo. So Judith was a widow in her house 3 years and 4 months. And she made her a tent upon the top of her house, and put on sackcloth upon her loins, and wear her widow's apparel. And she fasted all the days of her widowhood, save the eves of the Sabbaths, and the Sabbaths, and the eves of the new moons, and the new moons, and the feasts and solemn days of the house of Israel. She was also of a goodly countenance, and very beautiful to behold. And her husband Manasseh had left her gold and silver, and men servants, and maid servants, and cattle, and lands. And she remained upon them. And there was none that gave her an ill word, for she was feared Yahweh greatly. For she feared Yahweh greatly. Now, when she heard the evil words of the people against the governor, that they fainted for lack of water, for Judith had heard all the words that Ozias had spoken unto them, and that he had sworn to deliver the city unto the Assyrians after 5 days. Then she sent her waiting woman that had the government of all things that she had, to call Ozias and Chpts and Charmis, the ancients of the city. And they came unto her, and she said unto them, Hear me now, O ye governors of the inhabitants of Bethulia, for your words that have been spoken before the people this day are not right, touching this oath which she made and pronounced between Yahweh and you, and have promised to deliver the city to our enemies, unless within these days the Lord turn to help you. And now, who are ye that have tempted the Lord this day, and stand instead of Yahweh among the children of men? And now try the Lord Almighty, but ye shall never know anything. For ye cannot find the depth of the heart of man, neither can ye perceive the things that he thinketh. Then how can ye search out Yahweh, that hath made all things, and know his mind, or comprehend his purpose? Nay, my brethren, provoke not the Lord our Father to anger. For if he will not help us within these 5 days, he hath power to defend us when he will, even every day, or to destroy us before our enemies. Do not bind the counsels of the Lord our God, for Yahweh is not as man, that he may be threatened, neither is he as the Son of Man, that he should be wavering. Therefore, let us wait for salvation of him, and call upon him to help us, and he will hear our voice, if it please him. For there arose none in our age, neither is there any now in these days, neither tribe, nor family, nor people, nor city among us, which worship gods made with hands, as hath been aforetime. For the which cause our fathers were given to the sword, and for a spoil, and had a great fall before our enemies. But we know none other God. Therefore we trust that he will not despise us, nor any of our nation. For if we be taken so, All Judea shall lie waste, and our sanctuary shall be spoiled. He will require the profanation thereof at our mouth, and the slaughter of our brethren, and the captivity of the country, and the desolation of our inheritance will he turn up on our heads among the Gentiles, wheresoever we shall be in bondage, and we shall be an offense and a reproach to all them that possess us. For our servitude shall not be directed to favor, but the Lord our Father shall turn it to dishonor. Now therefore, O brethren, let us show an example to our brethren, because their hearts depend upon us, and the sanctuary of the house and the altar rest upon us. Moreover, let us give thanks to the Lord our God, which trieth us, even as he did our fathers. Remember what things he did to Abraham, and how he tried Isaac, and what happened to Jacob in Mesopotamia of Syria, when he kept the sheep of Laban, his mother's brother. For he hath not tried us in the fire, as he did them, for the examination of their hearts, neither hath he taken vengeance on us. But the Lord doth scourge them that come near unto him, to admonish them. Then said Ozias to her, all that thou hast spoken, hast thou spoken with a good heart, and there's none that may gainsay thy words. For this is not the first day wherein thy wisdom is manifested, but from the beginning of thy days all the people have known thy understanding, because the disposition of thine heart is good. But the people were very thirsty, and compelled us to do unto them as we have spoken, and to bring an oath upon ourselves, which we will not break. Therefore, now pray thou for us, because thou art a godly woman, and the Lord will send us rain to fill our cisterns, and we shall faint no more. Then said Judith unto them, hear me, and I will do a thing which shall go throughout all generations to the children of our nation. Ye shall stand this night in the gate, and I will go forth with my waiting woman. And within the days that ye have promised to deliver the city of our enemies to the Lord, will visit Israel by mine hand. But inquire not ye of mine act, for I will not declare it unto you till the things be finished that I do. Then said Ozias, the princes unto her, go in peace, and the Lord Yahweh be before thee, to take vengeance on our enemies. So they returned from the tent and went to their wards. And that, Yasha Allah, shall conclude this Wednesday's Words of Wisdom. We pray all was edifying and uplifting. Shalom to the elect. Shalom to the call of Israel. Have a blessed week. Yasha Allah.
I will lift up my eyes
Shalom.
unto the hills, from whence cometh my help. My help cometh from Yahweh, which made heaven and earth. He will not suffer thy foot to be moved. He that keepeth thee will not slumber. Behold, he that keepeth Israel shall not slumber nor sleep. Yahweh is thy keeper. Yahweh is thy shade upon thy right hand. The sun shall not smite thee by day, nor the moon by night. Yahweh shall preserve thee from all evil. He shall preserve thy soul. Yahweh shall preserve thy going out and thy coming in, from this time forth and even forevermore. Amen. Yahweh, Yashimoria, Macau, Rai, Yashimor, Napasha, Yahweh, Yashimor, Hamalakya, Wa'aina, Ma'aitha, Wa'aid, Hawalam, Aman. Anasha, Ayanamya, Al, Haharyam, Ma'aya, Yabawa'a, Izaria, Yabawa'a, Mayahaw, Shahashah, Shemaya, Warataza, La'a, Yenathan, Lamawat, Regalia, Yala'a, Nawam, Shashamoria, Hana, Yala'a, Nawam, Wala'a, Yashan, Shashawamar, Yasha'ala, Yahweh, Shemaria, Yahweh, Tizalia, Al, Yum Yum Ya, Hashemash, Yala'a, Hakaya, Ayawa, Wala'a, Walabana, Walayala, Yahweh, Yashemaria, Makam, Rai, Yashemar, Nepasha, Yahweh, Yashemar, Habalakya, Wabawa'aya, Ma'aitha, Wa'ai, Awalam, Aman.